Hello and welcome to this video. If you own a 2025 Honda NC750X or you're thinking of buying one, you have clicked on the right video. In this video I will show you how you can get the best out of your motorcycle, also giving you a bit of familiarization, making your riding experience better and safer. A lot of this advice can also apply to many other motorcycles, so even if you don't own a Honda NC, it is worth a watch. Right, let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to show you is the standard toolkit supplied. I will explain what each item does and how you can improve this kit. In the front we have the standard toolkit. This is what you get inside. Preload adjuster for the rear suspension. A 12 and 14mm spanner. A helmet secure cable. A 10 and 14mm spanner. A multi-bit driver with a flathead and a crosshead. A couple of Allen keys, and lastly a fuse puller. And there we have it. Some of these we can swap out for better tools. I will show you this later. To start off with, let's show you how to use the preload adjuster. Place the two parts in this configuration. This is where you use the tool on the rear shock absorber. To increase the preload, twist this upper collar towards the right side. This is if you are carrying a heavy load. To decrease the preload, twist this collar towards the left side. This is if you are carrying a lighter load. This is important to adjust according to the rider weight and carrying load. Here you can see the notches. The higher the number, the harder the spring will be, thus supporting a heavy load. I am over 100 kilograms, so I've put my preload high onto setting 9. Right, the next item in the toolkit is the spanners. These can be useful for when adjusting the chain, but to utilise this we will need an additional tool which I'll show you in a bit. Next item we have is the helmet secure cable. This is one way you can use it. It's especially useful if you want to secure your helmet to your bikes if you cannot fit it in the front. This is where I would use the cable. Once looped under the rear seat, no one can easily access this. There is a few ways you could use this. Here is just an example. Next item in the toolkit is the driver. This can be pretty useful as a small lever bar as well as a screwdriver. And while we're here, I will show you how to use the fuse puller tool. Open the front and use the hex driver to push the center of these plastic rivets in a third of the way. The center pin stays in place and the clip is released. Here I can check my battery terminals. These should be tight, but sometimes they can work loose. Here is where the main fuse box is located. Pull the cover off by pressing in on the right side of the lid and pull. This is where you can use the fuse puller. To do this, just push over the top of the fuse and it will clip onto the fuse, allowing you to remove that particular fuse. In the lid we have some spare fuses. The lid just clips right in with a little push until it clicks in place. It goes on one way, so check the orientation arrow. To reuse the plastic rivets, push at the centre above the base in the opposite direction. When located in the holes, push down and they will click in place. Right, here is something I recommend getting, and this is a torque wrench. One for smaller bolts and one for larger bolts such as the rear wheel nuts. A torque wrench is a specialised tool designed to tighten fasteners such as nuts and bolts to a specific preset amount of torque. This ensures the fastener is tightened to the correct tension, preventing both over tightening and under tightening. I have put links to these in the description below. Right, back to the standard toolkit. These are just generic for Hondas, and to get the best out of them you'll need to swap some items out to better suit the NC. I'm going to remove the helmet secure cable as I won't use this item. I'm also going to remove these Allen keys as they are too small for 90% of the bolts on this bike. The rest of the items I will keep. I'll also add these additional items: 7-inch pipe grips, a length of duct tape, a 5mm Allen key as this fits the airbox panel, some cable ties, and a short adjustable spanner that goes up to 27mm. Right, let's utilise this new kit and adjust the chain tension. First thing we're going to do is loosen the rear axle nut. As this wrench is small for convenience storage, you will need to use your body weight to loosen. Use the pipe grips to stop the spindle from turning on the other side. Now loosen the outer tension adjuster nuts on both sides. Make sure the inner nut does not move. Once both loosened, turn the inner adjuster nut quarter of a turn clockwise to tighten the chain tension. Make sure you adjust both sides evenly. This will move the wheel backwards. If you feel like you haven't, please check the notches on the swing arm on both sides to make sure they match. Once adjusted evenly, put an old cloth in the chain and pinch it between the sprocket. This will pull the wheel true and evenly. Tighten the rear wheel nut. Now lock up the adjuster nuts. Like earlier, make sure the inner nut does not move. Use 2 spanners here. Now pull this as tight as you can. If you're at home, you will need to torque this up. If you are out on a trip, pop into any tyre shop and they should torque this up for you. Normally this can be tightened to 80 Nm without a bar, which will be safe to ride to a local garage to get this 27mm nut torqued to 98 Nm. Don't forget to sit on the bike and check the chain tension. If you can't do this, then make sure you have at least 30mm of movement as shown on the swing arm. Remember, the tension will increase ever so slightly when weight is on the bike. Right, now load up the new and improved toolkit and store it back into the frunk. As we are on the subject of adjustments, now would be a good time to adjust your comfort. I found that tilting the bars towards me has prevented numbness in my hands. This is how you adjust this position. You want to make sure your elbows are not locking out and have a slight bend in them. Adjust to your desired position and tighten the clamp down. These are set to 28 Nm. Once adjusted, check you have nothing touching the bars on the full lock to lock. Now we've adjusted the bars, I will need to adjust the levers. Even if you haven't adjusted the bars, it's still good practice to check this. You want to have it so you are not moving your fingers up or down to reach the levers. Loosen these 2 bolts and adjust to your desired position. Mine is a DCT, so no need for me to adjust the left side. But if you have a manual, just repeat the steps again. Once happy, tighten these bolts to 10 Nm. Now that is the end of the video. Hope you have learned something new today. If you have any advice you want to share, please comment below to help others. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to see more content like this. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and if you're feeling really generous, you can buy me a coffee. Here is what you can expect to see when I'm not sharing my mechanical knowledge. Ride safe and I'll catch you on the next one. And just like that, we are nice and fed and ready to get back on the bikes.
Got cheesy throat. Should we go back down here?
Yeah.
Try and find the way back that way?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Jodie.